Hi. Ooh. Hi. So why am I here today? You guys. I've been boy sober for 18 years of my life. I've been single all my life. I think most importantly, I'm afraid of men, intimacy, and thank you guys for listening to this, first of all. I'm really working on myself. I do also want to say that I had kind of like a normal relationship, just talking with guys in general, like talking with my peers, talking to men. Not like talking to men in a romantic sense. This all changed when I hit puberty and I just started to like think about guys differently, and I started to get very self-conscious. I think from my middle school there wasn't a lot of representation of like guys who were, I think I just didn't know how to talk to guys anymore for some reason. I just started getting confused because before puberty I just talked to anyone, like anyone, you know what I mean? Like obviously I wouldn't tell guys everything, but I would just be like, oh, let's play this game, whatever. Like I wouldn't think too much about it. But then as you grow older, sometimes you just kind of get in your head, and I think I became, as I grew older, I became a little bit of a hermit. Not even a little bit, and just to myself, like I became very reserved, isolated, stopped talking as much, in fact stopped talking basically at all. I'm here just to say that yeah, like I'm boy sober, but it's been a good thing for me. What stems from me being scared of men is just not really thinking that I can form a relationship with them, because like with women it's like, oh cool, we can talk about nails, we can talk about pop culture, we can talk about gossip, we can talk about boys, and I can still do that with men too, but there is a different dynamic from a boy-girl friendship that I think my brain just can't comprehend. Usually how I make friends is I just have deep conversations, I get straight to the point, Sorry guys, water break. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm a very straightforward person. I get very cutthroat. I just bond over trauma, I guess, with people, and that's how I've made friends with girls. And it's very easy to do that with girls because like we are the same gender. We usually have the same struggles. Girls talk and it's very easy to get down the nitty-gritty of things. Right? Boys, it's like I don't know how to find that commonality, and also I don't think that I can banter with men. Like I just kind of see how other people interact, and when girls interact with men, very like quick remarks, like bantering with men. It's like very much small talk with men that like form these friendships. I personally just can't be that person. Like I'm a very serious person. I do have limited experiences. I think I wish that I tried a little bit more in high school. I just didn't talk to men because I was scared, because I didn't know how to connect with them. I'm not a sports person. That wasn't a way that I could connect with men. I was also just very scared. I don't know why. There's something in my body that just made me stuttery and jittery around men. I got anxiety from that because I would just get so nervous talking to guys, and it's like they're just teenage boys. Like I'm a teenage girl, but I just my mouth couldn't compute that, and I just hated getting stuttery around men, so I just didn't talk to them all throughout 4 years of high school. We're at the present day right now, 18, still haven't talked to guys. I'm actually in a So this is a little update. I'm in a group project with like all guys, and I generally think it's the most terrifying experience of my life. When I saw that I was like in the only group, like only girl, I was literally like, no, like, I don't have anyone to talk to. But I do, I just have to open myself up. And there's a whole like group chat that I have with these guys, and I haven't said like a word. Cause I'm just scared, like I just don't know. The older I get and the less experience that I have with men, and the more I restrict myself from talking to guys, the more scared I get, and I need to like stop that. And if any of you guys have felt the same way, well, you're probably in this group with me, and I wonder what your opinions are on that. Okay, yes, I am showing off my Stanley. I'm just like, I had to because my sister got this for me, and I just think it's very easy, very pure. My fear of intimacy really just stems from a place of being a little bit behind other of my peers. I feel like in high school, a lot of people were starting to have intercourse. So people started to have intercourse with other people their age, maybe older, and I just was not at that wavelength. And also I am religious, so I believe in, just wasn't at that same wavelength, and a lot of my friends were also feeling the same way I did, so we had that connection. Although I didn't really talk to my friends about sexuality or anything like that because I was just like nervous. I was growing up, I didn't know like what I could say to my friends. I didn't know if the things that I was going through was just like the norm or not. Becoming more of a hermit, I was becoming more reserved, so I just felt so insecure about talking about my body changing, first of all, because my body definitely did change after puberty. But on top of that, now you're expecting me to talk about like these hormones that I'm feeling. Horny? Let's say it. I'm sorry, group. Yes, it's like these things. Like I think like now that I'm older, I've had a control of that. But like when I started going through puberty, I was experiencing emotions in my body that I just was like, where's this coming from? And I didn't know that was normal. Like I really didn't. I know that people talked about it, but people didn't really. They don't talk about like you having certain urges when you get older, and also like there's certain parts of my body like people cannot touch because like you know what I mean. Like I'm just gonna get real here. I'm gonna get real. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. Let's get real, because I didn't have these conversations. I didn't have girl talk like that with my girls because I just generally was so reserved, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so weird, I'm so different. No, you're not. You're like every other girl. You're like every other teenage girl. And yes, like girls we get it. That like in general led to me being or feeling very isolated, and it's made me scared of intimacy because I just generally, even though I was feeling all these hormones, I still wasn't ready to be that vulnerable with another person, and I wanted to wait until I was emotionally mature enough to handle doing that with another person. Also, I didn't have a chance to date in high school either because I was so shy. I didn't talk to boys at all outside of like group settings, so or like group projects, so like I wasn't even going to be able to have the chance to do that. Also, I was like not really active in school. Like I didn't do sports, I didn't do anything like that to give me an opportunity to meet guys in general from my high school, so that also further isolated myself and made me feel like I was an outsider, when in reality it's like I just didn't expose myself enough. So that's my fault. But now, because I didn't expose myself enough to these experiences with guys, I'm kind of suffering for it in college, where I'm at right now, guys. So men and intimacy, I'm scared of it. Especially with intimacy, I'm scared because I generally feel like there's a million things that can go wrong when you're that vulnerable with another person. I also feel scared of intimacy because I don't know if I'm going to be comfortable with progressing in that way in my future relationships. I'm 18. There's an expectation with this generation at 18 to have done all these experiences, like had your first kiss, done things with guys, certain things, certain bases, certain don't ask me, I have no idea. I really don't even know. Actually, to this day, I don't even know how to actually have. I don't. Like, I don't eat. I really actually don't. I really don't. And I'm okay with that. I don't want to know yet because I'm like a kid still. I feel mentally 14, and yeah, I'm just scared of growing up. Another thing that I struggled with in terms of like intimacy is just the idea of getting naked in front of someone. Seems very scary, vulnerable, and I have such an innocent way of thinking in terms of being in a relationship with a man. For me, I'm 18 right now. If I were to get into a relationship with a guy, I would just want to hold hands, kiss. Maybe he a little bit. That's it though. I'm not taking off my clothes. Like I'm not taking off my shirt either. Like, you know what I mean? That's like how I think. Like I don't think very explicitly. There's not one guy that I've said that I wanted to smash. If I have, which I've never said I've ever wanted to smash a guy. And I generally mean that. Like I don't ever think about like actually smashing people. Like I'll say, oh yeah, like I want him right now. Like I'll joke around with my friends like, oh, I want to be with this person, or I want to do certain things with this person as a joke, but like I've never actually wanted to. And I don't know if that's going to change. I don't know if it's just because I'm still a child right now. Maybe my future first boyfriend that I ever get will unlock the woman in me, but I don't know. I just don't feel like the woman in me has been unlocked for me to like jump to like going into bed with someone. Like I still feel like a kid, so I'm going to stay in my innocence in my childhood. Another thing is like I don't have an urge to like be overtly. So I do get like hormonal surges like any other teenager. I don't have an urge to be like hook up with a guy, and I don't know if that's normal as a teenager. If it were up to me and I wasn't going by societal standards, I generally would not even think about hooking up with a man or anything like that. I would just think like, ooh, I want to kiss a guy eventually, like have my first kiss, have my first handhold. Growing up, especially in high school, I was exposed to more men in general, but I think that anytime that I would be, even in a group setting with men and, why am I calling teenage boys men? When I was in high school, when I was in a group setting with girls and boys, I as a girl would always gravitate towards other girls, like making friends with them. Whereas with like the guys, I would just kind of act like they had cooties, or like I was like, like I would have like I would give off the air that like I just don't like guys, and I would get defensive and like not mean, but like not welcoming. So I think that also probably turned the men away from me in general, because I just generally was not a welcoming person. But then again, I think my introvertness and my shyness lends itself to social awkwardness, and that's why I come off like unwelcoming in general. My journey in this, and I'm okay with being voiceover. I mean, it's something that is necessary for me, and